And we'll be rolling. Let's see here. I need you. I need you. Okay.
We got a couple more joining us.
Well, then I'll wait another second. All right. Hey, we're recording. This is good. And I should recognize. Yeah, that's John. Well, look at that.
Hey!
Hey, Mark.
Well, fine, good evening.
Hello. Where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah. You never know. You go to the Mediterranean, you.
Mediterranean.
I'm at home recovering from my second COVID shot.
Oh, no kidding. And
Which,
are you having something to recover from?
Well, I had COVID in November, but I just got the second shot of the Moderna vaccine. Feeling a little poorly this evening, but doing okay.
Okay. All right, Scott, if it's okay with you, I'm going to get rolling because you got me on a tight leash tonight.
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. And tonight we're going to be taking a real quick look at the Chirp software for programming your HTs. And I have to look at my notes here, see what we got. So tonight I'm not going to be getting into all the installation problems and driver problems and such you can have. I will touch on those briefly, but we need to make that a separate issue if anybody's interested. Tonight, what I wanted to do was show you some interesting features in Chirp that actually solved some problems for me. I was involved with Aries, and Frank can tell you that we held a couple sessions. I think Frank was in on them. Where with a prepper group, and they walk in with 16 different brands of radios and 4 different brands of laptops, and say, okay, program them, and it was a mess. So they got a couple suggestions for you in terms of solving some of those problems, but mostly I'm going to be looking at how to get loaded in the repeaters. Hey, Doug, how you doing? The repeaters in the counties around us, and that was one of the issues I had with them. I think also that if you went and said, Mike, I'll pick on you just because you'll let me. Mike, give me a list of the repeaters in Trumbull County.
970.
Yeah.
045.
That's 2.
Those are the only 2 I know of.
And that's the same boat I'm in, Mike. I would have the same reaction. I would pull up the 2 or 3 that I use all the time, and I don't know. So tonight we're gonna. I hope in about 30 minutes we're going to start with a blank slate. We're going to load all the repeaters that are known to the repeater book into Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana counties, and it's nothing. It's a piece of cake, and that's one of the problems to solve for me was to get lists of the repeaters. Anybody know what the repeater book is?
Yes.
From ARRL, you mean?
Say again, Al.
From the ARRL you talking about?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know who. I thought there was a repeater committee or something that took care of maintaining it.
There may be an Ohio version.
Okay.
But the ARRL has a nationwide directory.
Yes, and there is an online version of the repeater book. If you look up, if you just go Google repeater book, it'll take you to the repeater book. And the repeater owners are supposed to keep the council, whatever, I can't remember the name of it. Frank, do you remember the name of the council?
Ohio, something, Amateur Repeater Council, or Coordinating Council is OR, something like that. Doug probably knows what it is too.
Of course, every state would have their own.
The Ohio Area Repeater Council.
There you go. Thank you, Dino. There you go.
Yeah, the repeater trustee usually knows that.
Yeah.
Oh, details. So,
hey, don't bother me. I'm eating my Oreos.
That's why you don't have your camera on. The repeater owners are supposed to keep that council advised of any changes and such. And I was surprised to find that, you know what, they don't do too bad a job. For instance, you may know there's a change to the Western Reserve repeater. They moved its location, they changed its call sign, and so on. And the repeater book knows about it. At any rate, we'll talk more about that as we get to it. I have a few slides in PowerPoint to go through, but I'm hoping to get through them pretty quick and put the PowerPoint away and instead go into a live demo. Now, you know what happens anytime you do a live demo.
Nothing works right.
Yeah, nothing works. So
Murphy's Law.
don't be surprised if we run into a few issues there. Let's see here. Questions. If you have something to ask about what we're doing at that time that feels pretty important to you, by all means, go ahead and ask. But if you can, hold it to the end. What I'm looking to do is 30, 40 minutes, get through this whole thing. And then anybody that has to leave can. Anybody that has stuff they want to talk about, stick around and we'll talk as long as you want to, essentially. Okay. I'll take that to be a yes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can get my screen sharing going here. Are you looking at a desktop?
Yep.
Yes.
Must suck to be you. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully you're looking at a PowerPoint, programming HTs with Chirp.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, okay, moving on. So there's a number of software packages. There's software that comes from manufacturers and so on, but there's two that have really been the top two packages for programming HTs and other radios. And they are the one from RT Systems and Chirp. Speaking of RT Systems, as the name suggests, you're buying a system. When you buy their product, you get the programming cable and you get a software package. And the caveat here is their software only works with their cable. So if you already have a cable from the manufacturer, tough. So the other half of that, of course, is that they don't do that for free. So roughly $50 gets you their package and cable, their software and cable. And everything I've heard says that their software really works well and eliminates problems. Anybody using RT?
No.
Good. Okay. Then I'll lie about it.
I am for other stuff.
Okay. And I'm assuming you've had a good experience with it.
Yeah, but I also got I for the other stuff that I'm using it for was a brand name radio.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using the brand name cable. That the software didn't come with a cable.
Okay. All right. So moving on to Scott, right out of the box, he says I'm lying to you.
No, I'm not saying that.
I know,
I'm just
Scott,
saying
relax.
I mean, what I bought the software for wasn't a Bofang.
Yeah. Okay. So the other one, of course, is Chirp. Chirp is open source. A fellow named Dan Smith. Here's how you can, Google Chirp at .danplanet and you'll find him. But there's the link if you really want to spend the time copying it down. And let's see here. I would note that Dan has a bunch of folks helping him. And if anybody's used FL Digi, there was a time where FL Digi was updating like once in the morning and once in the afternoon every day. Chirp is kind of like that. They are doing frequent updates. So you will frequently, when you start Chirp, get a message to do the updates. I highly recommend doing them. And if nothing else, because one of the things they update is they add models of radios as they become available on the market. And that way you keep, you have a good choice of what you can program. Okay. Now, the other side of the coin is Chirp is software only, and you have to provide your own programming cable. Most of the time, that's not an issue because most brands come with one, and if not, they're cheap around. I'm trying to remember the name of that company that sells the cables all the time. They're about $15 a pop. At any rate.
Isn't that Valley Enterprises or something like that?
I'm not sure. I can't remember now. At any rate, over the years, there have been some issues. primarily driver issues with Windows. It comes down to a battle between the chip companies. This site I'm going to tell you about here called Miclor they got a lot of information on what's the history on it and what to do about it. And so I'm not going to spend tonight talking about driver issues and such as that. I would refer you to Miclor. Again, just Google Miclor and it'll take you there. They are pretty much the definitive site for workarounds on all those driver issues. The other thing that's happened is as Windows has progressed, they've added some drivers and such built into Windows. All right, the other resource is there's a Groups.io forum for Chirp, and if you just again go on Google Groups.io Chirp, it'll take you to that. This picture on the right I'm showing because this is from the Miclor website of some of the radios that they have information about. They deal with a lot of different brands. And what you're going to find in Chirp is they really deal with a lot of different brands. But at any rate, the Bofengs are just about everybody's got a Bofeng. And the UV5R has been around for a long time. And so, odds are you've either had one or used one. And so I thought tonight we could use that as our touchstone model. Okay, speaking of programming cables, this is what they look like. That's the two ends. That connector with the two prongs on it goes into your radio, and the other end plugs into the USB port on the computer. Here's a little bit of what's inside there, just to give you an idea. There is a circuit in there that does a USB to serial conversion. The two prongs going into your radio, as it shows in the bottom right corner here, have a very minimal serial port there. It has an RX line, a TX line, and a ground. And the circuit in the middle is the one that does that conversion between USB and those three wires. No need to know that to use it. Again, at the Miclor site, they'll tell you all about drivers and how to work around things. So we'll leave that to go. All right, having said that, I'm going to put away the PowerPoint and get into Chirp. Now, this is a screenshot of what happens in Chirp when there's a new upgrade available, and that frequently happens when you open the Chirp program rather. Okay, let's dump that. Let's go to Chirp. Now, Chirp does not have a real exciting screen, and but this is what it looks like. And over here at the top left is the menu items, and the primary thing we're going to use is file and radio. There's other things you can do, but for tonight, we're just going to focus on them. And we got a computer wizards in here.
No.
I assert my right to give the Fifth Amendment.
Well, one of the things they teach you in computer science, like the first night, is back up, back up, back up, and when you're done backing up, back up some more. So the same thing applies to this. The very first thing you should do is pull down what is in your radio, put it in a file, save it to the hard drive, so that when we screw up, because we will, we have something to go back and put it back in its original condition if we want to.
What version of Windows are you using?
I'm using Windows 10.
Okay, and if you mess it up, there's a little feature in Windows 10. System restore.
Yeah, roll it back. Okay, so I'm going to go in and download the what's in my radio now, and I'm assuming you don't need me to show you how to plug in the plugs. Here's what I'm going to say to you at this point. I'm plugging in my USB end, and I'm leaving the end that plugs into the radio hanging here. So I'm not connected to the radio yet. All right, I'm going to go over here to radio, and I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to say download from radio, and they're going to ask you right out of the box about a COM port, because this is a serial connection that's going from between the computer and the radio. They need to know what COM port is being used. Usually, there'll only be one choice. If you pull this down, for instance, on right now, I only got one choice. But like in John's case, where he's a super user, he may have a bunch of different serial ports available. So in the event that you don't know what your COM port is, or it shows more than one, The answer is to go to control panel. I'm just going to quickly open control panel here. Well, maybe not so quickly. I should have had that one open. There he goes. In control panel, we're looking for device manager. Ooh, 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 ooh. Come on, baby. The speed of my laptop is matched only by that of a snail. All right, here we go. And I'm going to look down here where it says ports, COM and LPT. I'm going to expand that, and bigger than all get out, it tells me that my particular cable here is using a prolific chip and that it is on COM3. So guess what? That box in Chirp had the right thing. But this is where you would look. Yours may say COM65 or something silly. It all depends on how much serial stuff you're doing. So that's where you go to find that. I'll close that and minimize that. And so we have COM3 put into the radio identification box here. I'm using a Baofeng, and I'm using a UV5R. Now, just to give you some ideas on the brands, starting at A with Linko and Jetstream and Radio Oddity. I've seen a lot of those being used here lately. TYT, area, a lot of stuff there. Yaesu, Zastone, Vertex is Kenwood, I think. Any rate, we're using
Vertex is Yaesu's commercial line.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Now, likewise, within that brand, you got a whole bunch of choices, and of course, we're choosing the UV5R. Are we okay so far?
Yeah.
Here are no objections. We're going to continue on. I'm going to click OK. It gives me this warning box, and you'll notice there's a little box here you can check so you don't see this anymore. I don't check that. My thinking is that, first of all, I'm old, and second of all, I forget things, and so I leave that turned on, just a reminder that of a couple things here. So it says turn the radio off. My radio is off. It says plug in the cable. I did that. Baofeng had a problem with the cable connections there on some of their early radios. Later on, they fixed that, but the cable sometimes didn't plug in real firmly, and you had to hit it pretty hard. I've even heard of some folks having to trim the rubber on the end that hooks into the radio to make it go in. All right, then it says make sure to connect it firmly, turn radio on, and turn the volume up. In this case, they're saying like 100%. And as soon as I did that, turn the radio on, my radio transmit light came on. And that's normal, so don't panic when that happens. Okay, click OK. So we got that. We're going to go to OK, and it is now pulling down what's in my radio. Just that easy. Okay, I'm going to turn my radio off because from here on until a little later down the road here, we won't need the radio as such. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff in my radio, and you know, I might need it somewhere along the line. So what did we say the first thing we were going to do is?
Back it up.
Back it up, back it up, back it up. So we're just going to go right here to File. We're going to say Save As. Of course, you'll need to put it somewhere you'll be able to find it. I like to put things under amateur radio, and I'm going to go to, I think I had a folder for software. You can put it, of course, wherever you want, as long as you can find it. What is this we're using? Chirp, 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 somewhere there. Okay. I'm going to leave this name with the default naming here. It basically says it's a U5R, UV5R, and we're on 3/11/2021. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to save that, and if I need to, I can go back and put this stuff back in. Now I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that open. You don't have to. You can reopen it, but I know we're going to be reopening it, so I'm just leaving it open. I'm going to go up to File. Well, you know what? Before I do that, let's just take a peek. First thing is that this show empty means it's going to show you memory channels that have nothing in them. For instance, on this radio right here, location 0 has nothing in it. That's because I don't use location 0. I don't like to start at 0. That's a computer nerd thing. And I like to start at 1. So these are the memory locations right here in this column. And they're showing me all the ones that are used and all the ones that are empty. Scrolling down, we got a bunch of stuff. Now, the reason I'm scrolling down is I want to make the point that you need to look and see on your radio how many memory locations there are. Now, on this one, it stops at 127. It's empty, but it's still a memory location. 0 through 127 is 128 locations. All right. So you need to know that because different radio models and versions, brands and versions, have different amount of memory. And if you have one that has 128 and you try to put something in location 200, it ain't going to work. So you need to know how many locations you got. All right, and then it tells you the frequency. You can put a name in here. It doesn't show up necessarily on the radio, but you can put a name in here. And I think there is a way to make it show on the radio, but I haven't looked at that. Tone mode is for your PL tones. And the tone, for instance, on this one right here is, this is a Trumbull County repeater, if memory serves me. Let me see his, yeah, there's Wes doesn't have a tone in his. Okay. But this is the PL tone here on this case, 131.8. And if we come down here to Mahoning County, what's the repeater here in Mahoning County that a lot of folks use?
147,000.
No, there's a different 146.7 something. I don't know. Can't find it anyways. Where's
146.745.
Yeah, 146.745, which has a tone of.
Where's that repeater at?
Yeah, where is that repeater? Who's the repeater chair on that thing?
No, we should hang him.
All right, so it gives you the tone, and then over here it gives you the direction on the split, whether it's plus or minus. Okay, on repeaters, when do you switch from negative to positive splits?
147.
Thank you. Okay, and the mode, of course, is FM. Now, I mention that because when you pull things down from the repeater book, for DMR stuff, they mark it as a digi, as memory serves me, or with a D or something like that. And we may run into that. It may try to import something that has a D for the mode, and you'll get an error message. No big deal. We just don't use that one as, we rename it or something. And the power level you can set. These Bofangs, I think, had 3 levels, or at least 2. And I keep mostly, for the most part, on high. So that's what's in the radio now. All right, let's go. What I'm aiming to do here is to build an image that I'll be able to throw up to this radio or any other radio I want to. Nancy's radio hasn't been programmed with with all this stuff yet. So I could take this image and program hers. Now, the deal is, and if you've tried this, you've run into problems with this image stuff. You can't take, for instance, just a standard file. Here, this will make more sense if I do this. I'm going to File, New, and it opened right here, a generic CSV, comma separated values. That's like a Excel thing, comma separated values. And what it's doing is making like a spreadsheet. I can't remember what point I was going to make, so I'll move on. Oh yeah. You cannot upload a CSV to your radio. You have to use the file we pulled down here. We're going to save it under a new name before we upload it, but you have to put the stuff you want into this file, and then it has all the right protocols for going up to the radio. So if you want to do a master image, you do it as a CSV and just copy and paste into the particular one for your radio. Now you may notice that they have automatically filled in location 0. Again, I don't use it, so I don't care that anything's in there. But anybody recognize 146.01? Okay, anybody know what a band plan is?
Heard of it.
Somebody said yes. Okay, so ARRL, among others, puts out band plans that suggest, it's not a law, suggest what you should do on certain frequencies. And 146.01 is the beginning of the area in the band, the 2-meter band there, where they suggest you put repeaters. And that's why that was thrown in there. Automatically by Chirp. The guys that wrote Chirp, Dan Smith and his bunch, did that. Okay, I want to populate this with a bunch of stuff. I'm going to start with Mahoning County. I'm going to start Mahoning County in slot 1. And in order to do that, we're going to go up here to radio, and we're going to say import from the data source. And we're going to come down here to repeater book, and we're going to do a political query. Political meaning the boundaries, Marcus should be doing this part. The political boundaries where you are, for instance, Mahoning County and so on. So I'm going to click that. And lo and behold, here we come. It's asking what state? Ohio? What county? No, I don't want Trumbull. I want something here. Not Madison, Mahoning. And I'm going to go ahead for all of them. You can select, well, let's look and see. We can select which band we're going to put. We'll stick with all. And because in the repeater book, there won't be that much HF stuff. And we can say, okay, there. Okay, that's okay. This error message probably is, well, I don't know offhand. We'll see what it is. But it's telling me it's got a couple things it's not going to bring in. Let's see what it does bring in. Boom, there we go. This is what I wanted anyways. Don't care about that other stuff. And look at here. This very first one, that's Western Reserve Club. Their repeater, their call now is W8WRC. That didn't used to be. And they're located in McDonald, Ohio. Used to be over here on the outskirts of Austintown there off of 46. So they have kept that up to date. All right, now it's going to put this starting at right here where it says 2, location 1. And it's going to occupy down to location 10. I'm going to leave some space, and I'm going to put Mahoning County in 1 to 10, and then I'm going to skip down to 20 before we start the next thing. Now, we'll show you when we get to the next step how to adjust where this is going. Right now, it's just fine because it's where I want it anyways. So all I got to do is say, okay. And it will take a moment. Your mileage may differ. There we go. And here we are with location 1. Hey, there's that W8WRC through 444.52500. I wonder who that is in Boardman. Here's New Springfield, and so on. So that's that repeater that 20 over 9 has, Scott down in Columbiana has. That's right. There's something from Wes. There's ours, 110.9.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, what?
Is that one that says Boardman 525? Is that the DMR repeater?
I wonder. I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I don't know. I mean, that's a new one on me. I've never seen that one.
How about that?
If it's
okay.
A 5,
go ahead.
I think it is. If it's a 5, I think it is.
Well, there it is. All right, moving on. So we've now dumped the Mahoning County repeaters that the repeater book knows about in there. And I'm going to go get Trumbull and put them in starting here at 20. So it's the same routine. If I quit doing that, come on.
The D-Star repeater is Wes's. The 443250. That's the DMR repeater. That's Wes's.
Okay.
I don't know what that other one is. I'll have to program that in a radio. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I wonder who KD8NZF is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. All right, so I'm going back to radio. I'm going back to import from data source. I'm picking the repeater book and the political query. And now we'll go get Trumbull this time instead of Mahoning. That comes later in the alphabet. Okay, Trumbull County. This is pretty exciting stuff. Okay. And it tells me about some errors that I don't care about. Okay. Boom. Now look here. It's going to put this stuff in the same place that I already have stuff. And these yellowed or golden numbers tell me, hey, dummy, are you sure that's where you want to put it? And the answer is no, that's not where I want to put it. So now I'm going to go down here to these buttons at the bottom. And I can increase the memory location by 100 or 10 or 1 or negative 10 or whatever I need. I want this to be at 20. So I'm going to go here and give us 2 10s. Oh, it went to 21. Well, you know what? I don't like that. I'm going to go -1. Now we start at 20, go to 31. They must have 11 repeaters there. And I don't see anything else to change. So, although, you know, you could invert them so they're in the opposite order and such, but let's leave it at that and say, okay. And take a little nap here. Okay. So here we are. We had the Mahoning guys through 10. We skipped 11 through 19, and now starting at 20. We have all the Trumbull County guys. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to now go grab the Columbiana County, and you'll never guess, I'm going to put them at 40. So we'll go radio, maybe. Come on. Radio. This is one of those tech problem things. Okay. What do we got there? Okay. Radio. There we go. Download from, no, I don't want that. I want import from data source, repeater book. This is the last county I'll do. We'll move on to other stuff there. There. And we'll pick up Columbiana County. Boop, boop, boop. Okay on that. Bet you we get an error message. Oh, yes, we did. Say okay. I did look up that mismatch stuff, and it's what I was telling you about earlier, that there, some of the, in a repeater book, they use some oddball abbreviations for digital and other things there. So that's why it's throwing those. Columbiana County has a lot of repeaters. They are starting here at location 1. We don't want that. We wanted, what was it, 40. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 41 minus 1 gives me 40. And we'll say okay there. Wait the eternity for that to happen. And scrolling down, there's our blank space. Now, did I tell you the reason I'm leaving these blank spaces?
So that you know where they are.
Yeah, there's that. And the other thing is that, you know, like Dean was just saying, he never heard of that one. Maybe there's repeaters that repeater book doesn't know about. And maybe you want to add them. So here's some blank space. You can add stuff. Maybe you don't like the order these are in. We'll show you here in a little bit how you can put the order any way you want it. But for now, we got Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana County, and we got them set up in different spaces in memory. That's just good. Let's go get some other stuff. Let's see what we should do. You know what? I'm in a park here in Florida, and they've got a block watch, and the block watch uses FRS radios. They got a couple FRS radios they use, and they work fine. I've also run into this with CERT down in Columbiana. The CERT down there has FRS GMRS radios they use. They work so-so, but Columbiana County is kind of rough terrain, so that deals with some of that. At any rate, I think we ought to get some FRS stuff in here. So instead of going from the data source, I'm going to come down here to query a data source. I think it was, no, import from stock config. That's where it was. And we're going to go down until we find the US, FRS, and GMRS channels. Anybody know what FRS and GMRS stands for?
Family radio service and general mobile radio service.
I think that's right. And the family radio service, it's actually a step up from CB. It's up in the 440 range, if memory serves me, and it's a half watt, and it's FM. So that's better than the AM on CB for the most part. Again, it's telling me I'm trying to put stuff where there already is things. We ended up at 54. I think I'll start this at 60. Dummy. Hit the wrong button there, so I need to bring that back to 60. Say okay, and I've tested this. It works like a champ. I've got a couple FRS radios that Nancy and I use when I back in the trailer in a park. It's entertainment for the whole park, and so she and I grab the FRS radios, and as she says, you know, she tells me how to get into the parking space there, and so we argue over the radio instead of in person. any rate, let's see here. What was I doing? I was putting in FRS stuff. So just that is, I tested it, and it does work just fine with the FRS radios. Most of the FRS radios have a channel selector, and what we're programmed here as FRS1 is channel 1 on those radios and so on. There's also some GMRS stuff here. I think they ask you to get a license. I don't think there's much to it. You don't have to take a test or anything, but you do have to apply for a license on the GMRS. I think I heard that somewhere. Okay, and yeah, guess what? Those are all up there in that. What is that? 75 centimeters. What is that? 70 centimeters.
70.
Yeah,
70 centimeters.
Yeah. Okay. Glad somebody here knows what they're doing. All right. So we'll do one more thing here, and then we're going to move on again because I see the clock is ticking down here. So the next thing is that actually we'll do two things. The next thing is I like to have weather. So we're going to go back here to import from stock config. And I think there was a Noaa weather alert. Let's see. We ended up at 80. I better run. No, I'll be good. I'll. That's interesting. There were errors. Well, oh yeah. I'm a dummy. Hang on. I didn't do that right. Okay, so here's the weather stuff, and I'm going to put that, what did I say, at 90, I think it was. Good. Okay. So now we got our weather channels. And we'll just go down to 90 and make sure they're there. If it ever quits moving away from me. Oh, by golly, there's the weather stuff at 90. All right, I got a couple memory spaces left, and we probably ought to put some simplex stuff in here. Dean, what's a good simplex frequency to use?
147.57.
147.57. Okay, let's go to 105. If I click on this and click on the frequency number and put in 147, what'd you say, 0.5?
57.
57, I'm sorry, 70, right? We'll see if it buys that. Yep, it seems like it did. Whoa, what happened there?
You broke it.
Yeah, apparently. Good thing I got a backup. Okay, moving down. I should have done all my changes before I hit enter. So look here in this CSV file, it's showing location 299. Do we have 299 locations in our Bofung?
Nope.
Nope. So if we put anything in 299, it won't upload properly.
How many memory slots does a Bofung have? I don't have one.
This one, the one we're using now, has 128.
Okay.
Good Lord. Is it ever going to settle down? Oh, just did. Oh, there's that simplex frequency. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to name it anyways, just call it simplex 1. And we'll come over here to the tone mode. None is, let's see what the choices are. Tone, I'm going to stay with none. And duplex, no, I don't know what our choices are there. Off, I'm going to call that duplex off. And it is FM, and a tuning step of 5 megahertz. I don't want that for that one. That's like for 440. Let's what did I say, megahertz or khertz? No, that is 5 megahertz. That's right. So let's see here. What would 1 kHz be in megahertz? 0.0001, something like that. You know what? Tuning step. I know that's megahertz. So let me just go up here and select. Oh, we don't want 5. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to go for the least 1. We'll see what happens there. All right. Let's see here. Nothing over here that I need to worry about. Let's go down and do another one. Dean, give me another simplex frequency or somebody.
How about 146.52?
Okay, I like that. But you know what? I'm lazy. I'm going to come over here and highlight location 105. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to do 106, right click on it, and I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to say that what I really meant was 146.52. Did I get that right, Dean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll call that one simplex 2. And we'll leave the rest of the stuff alone. Okay. I think that's good. I'm going to hit enter and let it lock in. Maybe. No, it didn't. Good. Okay.
It stuck your T-squelch on there for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want that. Good. Thank you. None. Anything else that changed? Yeah, let's go change that.
Copy the off. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Totally cool. All right. So now what I'm going to do is go up and save this guy. We're going to save it as a CSV file. We'll do save as. And I'm going to put it in the same place, but it'll have a different name. What do we got here? Amateur radio. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not showing the other one because it's a different extension on it. Okay. So here's the name it's showing me right now. I'm going to change that name and call that the 5R. Okay. 5R. What in heaven's name? Master. Okay, and we'll try that. Now, if you know Excel, you know you can open CSV files in Excel, and so you could literally open that file and use Excel to edit it as long as you don't put something in there that Chirp doesn't recognize. So just for what it's worth, you can do it that way. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I didn't like this in 105 and 106. I don't want these there. I want them at 110. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the first one. I'm going to highlight the second. I'm going to hold Control and highlight the second one. I'm going to right click. I like to copy first and then go back and delete. So I'm going to come down here to 110 and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste and see if it, oh, look at that. Isn't that slick? Now, you know what? I don't like these two. So let's just delete them. Oh, that's better. And this one, we'll delete him. I'm using the delete key on that. I just went up and clicked on a line. Now he's down. I like that better. So I better go back up and save this guy again. I don't need to do a save as. We've already named him. So there we go. Okay, any questions up to this point? Because we pretty much got all the hard work done. Hearing nothing. We're going to keep rolling. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over to, this was that master I had I pulled down from the radio. I'm going to highlight one. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to hold the shift and highlight the second one with the mouse and delete those. Oh my God, I bricked the radio. Oh no. There's nothing in there. This is horrible.
You saved it already.
Oh yeah, thanks. All right, I'm going back to my master. I'm going to go up to location. I don't care about location 0. I'm going to go to location 1. I'm going to click on him. I'm going to scoot all the way down to, I've scooted too far again. I got it. I keep forgetting this has got more memory than I do in many ways. Oh, there he is. Okay. So there was our simplex, huh? Come on, move. Where did we put that simplex? 110?
110, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, there he is. All right, I'm holding the shift. I highlighted the first one I wanted. I'm holding the shift. I'm highlighting through 111. I'm doing the right click. I'm copying. I'm going over to the tab that says UV5R. I'm going to location 1 because I didn't copy location 0. And now I'm hitting paste. Boom. Pasted memory 8 is not compatible. Memory 8 is dig. and that's that DMR repeater. So it ain't going to copy over. I don't care. I'll do that manually. I'll say okay. 25, another one. Let's see, out of range. Oh, I wonder what that one was. Memory 25. Let's see, we did one was Mahoning, and what was it? 20 was Trumbull, I think. So somebody from Trumbull's got some weird thing in there. Okay, I don't care. Memory 40, same thing. All right, we worked our way. No, we didn't. Tuning step 1 is not. Oh yeah, okay. that tuning step I put in is not compatible. Okay, something we'll have to look up because I, to be honest with you, just don't remember. All right, so let's see here. That was those simplex things. But here is now the new image that we're going to put up in the radio. Here's the Mahoning County stuff. Here's the Trumbull County stuff, and there's the, I don't remember who it was. There's the FRS.
Columbiana.
Yeah, Columbiana, and there's the weather and so on. So that's cool. All right. Now, I never do things without making sure I got some kind of backup. So I'm going to file save as this one. We're going to change the name a little bit. That's the default name. We're going to call this Bofung. Yeah, I like having the date on. I'm going to leave the date alone and just say new. Okay, boom. I got a backup on him. All right, I'm going back and put this in the radio now. For what it's worth, this is a change from what was in the radio. These are not the frequencies that were up at the top, so we'll be able to tell if it made it to the radio. I'm going to radio. I'm going upload to radio. Still COM3, still a Bafang, still UV5R. We're okay there. It says turn the radio off. It was already off. Connect the cable. It is. I'm turning the radio on, setting the volume up to near 100%. And it's showing me a transmit light. That's okay. Say okay here. And it's sending the stuff up. Ba-boom. Okay, I'm going to turn my radio off just to keep him out of harm's way and from there. So we have saved this image. We have saved this master. I'm going to come back and show you the radio here in a moment. Hey, Dave, how about writing down slot 1 should be W8 or should be 145.27 and slot 2 should be 146.745. So we'll recognize, with my memory, I'll never remember those. And we'll recognize that, that we do indeed have the radio program there. All right. I was thinking about something there. What was it? Beans. Oh, yeah. What if you were trying to program a different model? Like I've got a Bofung 82, the UV 82 or something like that. Could I take this 5R image that's on this tab and shove it up into the 82?
No.
No, you can't. What do you got to do in order to program the 82?
You would have to open up an 82 tab.
Exactly. You'd have to download from the radio the 82, just like we did for the 5R, and get that file. You'd have to come over. Now, the good news is you already have your master set up somewhere here. There he is. So all you got to do is the copy and paste routine.
Actually, is this the master for the 82? Because if it's different than that, you can't use this.
No, this is a master for, let me back up.
Master for everything?
Yeah, this is a CSV. It's not peculiar to any brand of radio.
Okay.
Okay. So then over here, we would have downloaded the 82, and it would be showing us the stuff for the 82. We'd erase all that. And of course, we'd back it up first. We'd erase all that, and then we'd come over here to the generic master, copy it, paste it into the 82 file, and upload that. And same thing applies if you got a different brand of radio and so on. You download what's in the radio first. That gives you an image that is able to be uploaded to the radio. It takes care of the peculiarities of all the protocols on the radio.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Frank.
One of the things I found out the hard way
Uh-oh.
back when the Bowfunks first hit the market,
Yeah.
and I was playing around with Chirp. I can't remember who it was, but they bought a Bowfunk, and I had all mine programmed, and they were having trouble. Obviously, Bowfunks are not easy to program. And I says, hey, I'm playing around with this new thing called Chirp, and I'll be happy to program it for you. You know, going to do him a favor. He brings the radio over, and I did what I thought was the right thing. I had a Bowfunk, he had a Bowfunk. I downloaded his thing, I pasted mine in, and guess what? I bricked his radio. Brand new
Cool.
Bowfunk radio. Yeah. As it turns out, even if it's the same model, okay, the firmware in the radio, you know, they were both UV5Rs. The firmware in the radio can be different. And it only takes a little bit of difference to brick a radio.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I ended up having to do, luckily I went on that Michelor site that you identified.
Yep.
They had a way to reset the radio to where it picked up its old firmware. And that was how I learned the hard way that no matter what radio it is, you download from the radio first, copy and paste your master file over, well, save it first, like you said, back it up first. Then copy and paste whatever your file is that you want to put into that radio. For instance, I took my Bowfunk UV5R, copied and pasted just the frequencies. Didn't say, oh, download this to that radio. I put it into that radio's tab and then uploaded that into the radio. If you don't do it that way, you're trying to copy the other radio's firmware into that radio's firmware, and they're not happy when you do that.
No, they aren't. And, you know, I ran into exactly the same thing, Frank. You know, Dan, what the heck's his, I call him Newham Dan. What's the guy that writes the study guide for the
Roman Check?
Yeah, Roman Check. He was doing a Newham group, and when I volunteered to do some Chirp stuff with him, and he sicked the guy on me who was having trouble. And strangely enough, the guy had a new a UV5R, and it just wouldn't program to save your life. He kept getting can't access errors. And so I was off and running, telling him all about driver issues and crap like that. No, the new UV5R, just like you're saying, has changed firmware from the old UV5R. And so you always have to start from an image from that radio. You know, obviously there I'm speaking in an extreme, but I always start with an image from that radio and modify it. That way I ensure it will go up. Okay, so I don't feel too bad about this. 45 minutes. We took this radio and completely programmed all the repeaters in Columbiana, Mahoney, and Trumbull, plus the FRS, plus the weather, plus some simplex stuff that I messed up. Let me stop the share. So I've shown you pretty much everything I'm going to show you in Chirp. There are other features, and you know, you're welcome to nose around in those, of course, but that's about what I wanted to get through tonight. So I'm back to live share here, and I wanted to let me get rid of the programming cable, and let's make sure this radio. Okay, what was that location? 001. What was supposed to be in 001? Anybody remember?
146, 270.
Can you read it?
145, 270.
Oh, I did something wrong then.
No,
No, 145. That's right, 145.
Get it right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Here's location 2. What was supposed to be there?
146, 745.
And there it is. And as I'm quickly scanning through these, we started Trumbull at 20, so I'm going to do 0, 2, 0, and 146, 835. That does sound right for that. Okay, that's my deal. Open to questions. Scott, you got something coming up on the repeater here in a half hour, I think.
Yeah, we got to check in on the repeater coming up.
Okay, so I'll stay here for anybody that wants to talk about it, but other than that, you've seen what I've got, And I'm checking to see if there's any eyeballs closed yet. Doug, you're looking a little iffy there.
Hey, Dave.
You did
Hey,
well.
what?
Nicely done. Good job.
Hey, Mark, thank you.
Yeah, great job. Anybody got any
I'll
questions?
take you out to dinner later, Mark.
I have a question,
Uh-oh.
Dave. So that programming cable, it goes into where your microphone and speaker mic, that same jack there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure where you're headed there. Yeah, here you go, Mike. Here's the radio. On this particular radio, that speaker jack and such is over on this side. And
Yeah.
my cable plugs in right there. And of course, it went into transmit mode immediately, but that's the deal on that. It thought I was
Okay.
programming it.
Okay.
Very good.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, it doesn't just program HTs. It programs mobile radios and all kinds of stuff. There's a huge list of what it programs on their website.
Hey, Donna.
Oh, there.
How you doing, guys?
We're doing just fine. How about you?
Yeah, just getting home from work.
Holy cow.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I know.
That's Thursdays for
We
you.
we just farted around for like the last 40 minutes, so I got paid for it. I don't care.
Uh,
Hey,
All right,
Dave.
Scott, back to you.
all right. I don't have a lot. I just got some announcements, really. 2-meter or the tech class is coming up March 23rd. It's not too late for anybody to get in. Mark, I tried calling your guy, left a message, never heard back from him.
Scott, I saw him today. He got your message. He was busy. He is going to call you back.
Okay.
He has your message. He
Okay.
will call you back.
All righty.
So he says.
Okay. I'm waiting. 2-meter contest is coming up Saturday, March 27th. Get on the webpage for all the rules and regulations and everything for that. We're hoping to start the in-person meetings in April. We'll start with a small group. Usually a small group shows up for what we've been doing. So we're going to try and start a small meeting at the GOP starting in April. We'll see how things are going. A lot of people have been getting their vaccinations, so we're starting to get a little better. So we may do a kind of a twofer meeting. We'll do it online through Zoom like this, and we'll also do it in person. So we're trying to figure that out right now and see what we can do, but we may do that. Field day committee, I got Joe working on trying to find us a spot. He had a couple ideas, but now I heard that they're going to be possibly opening up the parks. So we may be able to get back into the barn. I don't know yet. I haven't talked to Joe. I'm going to be calling him this weekend and seeing what he's found out. Other than that, that's all I have. So I appreciate it, Dave. You did a wonderful job on your show, and Mike putting that together. So anybody got any questions or anything?
Just have a comment, Scott.
Oh yeah, Dean, you got an announcement?
Yeah, just real quick, we're at 43 members right now. Out of the 70, we're 43 members total. We had 72 last year. Of those 43, I think there's 4 or 5 new members. The rest were all renewals. So we've got a little less than half that haven't renewed. I'm going to put a list together here sometime this weekend and get it to Scott so he can email the people and either twist their arm or just remind them that this is their last month as an official member. I'm pretty much, I don't think nobody on this screen that I'm looking at that effect. So we will address the folks that haven't renewed. We'll send them a little reminder in the email and let them know that this is the last month they'll be a member. And I think what we discussed at our board meeting last week is we're going to probably go ahead and send them the April newsletter and tell them this is your last newsletter. And also Scott's going to address the other folks there that haven't renewed, and we'll see what we can do. And if anybody knows anyone that wants to join, they want to be a new member, get them onto the website. The information is on there to join the club. We do have the PayPal thing up and running there. We still haven't got the interface set up yet, but the PayPal is running the other way. Those of you that are officers and board members, we got an email today. Someone joined. He sent me a membership thing, but his payment hasn't come through yet. So I reached out to him personally back through the email, see if he may have made a mistake or something, but his payment hadn't posted yet. But we do have another new member that did join today.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm just waiting for his payment. I'll let you know, Scott, when it's
Okay.
through. But that's it. That's all I got. Remind everyone that you see that if you know that their dues are due, if they're not paid up, and we'll go from there.
All righty. Thanks, Dean.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to be calling folks, I hope. So, all right. Anybody,
Me neither.
anything else? Questions? Or
Yes. One more thing there.
go ahead.
MVARA 24/7 connection. There are some members of the club that have not signed up on that, and we're pushing right now. We've got a good group of folks on it, but we're pushing to get some more signed up. So if you haven't already, sign up on the Groups IO for MVARA, and it's free.
Yeah, there's a lot of good information out there. A good way to communicate with each other and bounce ideas off.
You don't get any spam or anything. It was, the old way was Yahoo, and then the Groups IO people went in. You don't get spam. You use your personal email address. It works really well. I belong to many groups on there for train stuff and other hobbies, plus amateur radio. So it works well, and it's only as good as what we put into it. So, we get more people in there, we'll have more interaction and more stuff.
Yeah, there's no crap involved with that. It's all straightforward stuff, and you can bounce ideas off of each other and get input on something if you're doing something. It's really a good idea. So if you haven't tried it out, try it out. Ultimately,
it would be nice if we can get everyone that's a club member that's on our email list to join that, because it sure makes an easier way to email everyone. You don't have to, go through individual messages or create your lists on your computer. You go to that thing, type email to all or type a message to all, and it goes, and they get it.
Yep. And that way we don't have to worry about exposing anybody's email address to anybody else.
Exactly.
So it takes it off our shoulders too. So, all right. That's all I have for tonight. I thank you all for joining us. And again, thank you, Dave, for your informative meeting. I learned a lot even with that from Chirp. I didn't know all those things. So thank you very much.
Same here.
Great
Getting
time.
ready for this.
One thing for everybody, not for naught, but President Biden is talking to the world right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm really running to the TV to watch that.
Okay.
There isn't a choice. It interrupts every channel.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
are we doing our net at 8:30? Is that the plan?
Yep. Online net.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
See you at
Log me in.
8:30.
All
Good
right.
night.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good seeing everybody.